Today, my broskies, we are talking about Hexorn, a game that was actually featured in the Brutal Indie Showcase back in September. And now, it is finally getting close to having a demo out, and I got to play a preview of that demo. And let me tell you right away, it is just as brutal as it looked in that first trailer. So what is Hexorn, my broskis? Well, it is a game that is inspired by Doom, Blood and Vampire Survivors, which is already a pretty dangerous cocktail of violence, but instead of fighting in just one arena like in Vampire Survivors, Hexorn throws you into cursed labyrinths that reshape every run. You fight through waves of enemies, draft brutal perks, wield occult firepower, and try to survive escalating horrors, with a very clear retro shooter soul to it. And that retro shooter soul is honestly one of the best parts of the game. The audio is super well done. Everything sounds punchy, juicy, gory and disgusting, but still retro. The weapons, they have that nice old school bite to them. Enemies, they explode into chunky little bits, and the whole thing just sounds nasty in the best way. Visually, it's also really damn cool. The demo takes place in this dark fantasy hellish environment filled with demonic enemies as well as cultists, toppled with some grimy occult nonsense. At least that is what I got from the first biome that I got to play in this demo. Now the enemies visually they are really well detailed, but there is still enough retro filtering over them to make them feel old school. It doesn't just look like someone slapped a pixel filter over everything and called it a day. There is actual style here. Now, however, yes, this is a roguelite. And I know some of you are probably sick and tired of roguelites at this point. Honestly, same here. There are so many of them out there that the word alone sometimes makes my head just want to explode. But Hexorn has a few things going for it that makes it quite fun. Really fun, actually. Overall, it is quite simple how the game works. You start in a hub world where you can craft new weapons and unlock permanent abilities. Or upgrades, I'm not sure. Upgrades, abilities, you can unlock some permanent stuff. Those systems are not unlocked in the demo, however, so I can't say much about them yet. But they are clearly going to be part of the full experience when that drops. Now, once you're done in the hub, you enter the realm. Inside the realm, you kill enemies, level up and pick upgrades very much in the style of Vampire Survivors. And this is where the game starts to show its teeth. The run-specific upgrades are really fun. You can get a skull that floats next to you and constantly shoots enemies. You can unlock an ability that makes you explode over and over again, damaging anything stupid enough to stand near you. You can also improve your weapons, boost your abilities, and pick upgrades that actually change how the run feels. And I love that. Because in some roguelites, upgrades are just boring little numbers. 5% more damage here, slightly faster reload there, and wow, my excitement is dead. But in Hexorn, a lot of these upgrades actually change the gameplay both visually and mechanically. You can see the run become more chaotic, more violent and more ridiculous as you go. And that is exactly what I want from a game like this. And weapon-wise, enemy-wise, chef's kiss my broskis. My lordy lord holy macaroni balls, the weapons and enemies are carrying this game right now. The weapons, they feel so good to shoot. The enemies, they're fun to blast apart. And when you combine that with the Vampire Survivor style upgrades, the whole thing turns into this messy, brutal, occult murder machine. There's also two bosses that I got to play in the demo, which are also fun and nice additions to the overall experience. I just wish that there was a little bit more to them, as the two bosses that I got to play played out exactly the same way. Now, I can't forget to mention that the atmosphere is also doing a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to the overall experience here. I really like how dark this game feels. It has this nasty, hellish fantasy vibe that works perfectly with the retro shooter gameplay. It feels grim, aggressive and chunky in all the right ways, and it's definitely a theme and style that will work in a single player, linear style retro shooter, not a roguelite, just saying. But we also need to talk about the weaker parts of the game. It is a roguelite, bap. It should have been a linear single player campaign style game. That would have been so much better. And then the levels. The game sends you into procedurally generated labyrinths, which sounds great on paper. Cursed labyrinths that reshape every run. Hell yeah, sign me up. But in the demo, That part honestly doesn't make a huge difference at all, because most rooms, they look more or less exactly the same. You walk through door after door, and every new room is basically a square with a few pillars in it. That is it. I mean, don't get me wrong, visually they look good. The lighting, textures, and demonic vibe all work. But layout-wise, very uninspiring. And that is such a shame, because the core gameplay is so fun, the shooting is great, the upgrades are fun, the enemies are cool, but the level design itself doesn't match that energy yet. And the exact same thing goes for the boss arenas. From what I played, it was mostly just a bigger square where you fight the boss. And again, it works, but it could be so much more interesting. Personally, I don't want to keep walking into empty square rooms with pillars forever. Give me weird layouts, give me traps, give me verticality, give me rooms that actually makes me go, oh crap, this is going to get messy. Because Hexorn already has the violence, the weapons, and the style. Now it just needs the levels to match the same madness. But on top of that, there is an experimental level editor, which is pretty interesting. So you can go in and craft your own weird little arenas, and hopefully make something more creative than square room number 47. And honestly, that might actually help the replayability quite a lot, especially if the community starts making some properly unhinged arenas. That would be interesting and fun. Now, the demo itself is planned to release around Steam Next Fest, or at least that is the plan. I don't think it is 100% confirmed yet, but we shall wait and see. But regardless, Hexorn is definitely one I am keeping an eye on, because yeah, I'm tired of basic roguelites, but I am not tired of games that takes that formula and go completely off the rails, and Hexorn has that energy. It still needs some more interesting levels, that is my biggest concern right now, but the foundation here is super strong. So yeah, my broskies, Hexorn is absolutely one to keep an eye on, and when that demo drops, I definitely recommend giving it a shot. And if you want more stuff just like this, or if you enjoyed what you saw today, remember to hit that like and subscribe, and Papa Slim, he will see you in the next one.